Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Healing in Gemini. I am literally recording this the day of our last week's release, which is normally what we don't do. We usually take a couple of days, but today was a very interesting day for me, and I just feel like I have a lot to say, and I decided to record about it. So, last week's episode was about the power of feeling your feelings, and this week, I wanted to discuss how to navigate feeling your feelings when the world is literally feeling like it's imploding on you, especially in today's world where there's a lot of crazy things happening and it feels very scary. Like, for instance, this morning, I decided to get on social media before my therapy session, which I knew I shouldn't have done, but in the grand scheme of things, it actually was a good thing because I got to speak out my feelings with my therapist, and it really did help me. But this morning, when I went on social media, I guess my algorithm was very catered to a lot of news regarding the new immigration policies and the law the Supreme Court just passed, and it instilled a bunch of fear within me. I am of Hispanic heritage, and most of my friends, most of my family are of Hispanic heritage, and it was very triggering. So I did end up crying, and I just felt so much fear within 2 seconds. And I was able to speak to my therapist about it, and I just basically told her it's so scary because it feels like a part of me has to hide my authentic self, hide my culture, hide my language, and I shouldn't have to. I feel like we live in a country that is so beautifully mixed, and I feel like we're focusing a lot on everyone's differences, but in a negative way, instead of seeing that our differences is what makes us so beautiful. And I'm not trying to get political, I'm just trying to express how I was feeling this morning. And I was able to move through the feeling of fear with my therapist, which was really important. I didn't want to stay in that mindset the whole day, especially going to work right after therapy. And I feel like that's what I really want to discuss today. How can we work through that knowing that we're kind of on an information overload with everything? And I think one of the best ways to do this is to limit our social media intake. We are on our phones 24/7. It is so scary to see, and I think I have touched upon this on previous episodes where I feel like our phones have done such a great service for us. I mean, we're able to connect more, but I feel like we don't know how to connect at all at this point. Like, it's given us the ability to have access to, people that we normally wouldn't have access to, especially if we're in different countries, with FaceTime, texting, just calls in general. But I feel like now we just don't even know how to interact when it's like we're face to face. Like, we're almost awkward with each other. And I think that social media kind of has the same connotation. Like, it has brought us closer and further at the same time. And I really feel like we need to get back into that community feeling, that aspect that we're here for each other. It's not about our differences. It's not about everything that they've taught us to believe. separating us with lines and just, oh, this one or this group looks different, so they're worse than this group. And honestly, just putting down our phones and connecting with the people around us is crucial, especially in today's society. We are so divided as a society, and we don't see the damage of it. And I feel like just getting outside is also good for blocking out the noise of the information overload, doing activities where you're meeting new people and you're just not stuck kind of like doom scrolling. I have that huge issue, and it makes me so sad when all I've done is scroll for the last hour. I feel like I've wasted so much time, and it's not even productive. I feel like I didn't even learn anything. And I also feel like what is on social media is very fear inducing. It's kind of like we're just almost now in this like weird state where like it's good to be informed, but because we're getting so much information, it's just creating kind of like a hectic and chaotic energy for the world. And that's why I say like we need to get back outside, because it really allows us to just connect with nature again the way we once were. And it's just really good for our souls. And just touching back on this morning, I feel like the video that I saw was in regards to a raid in Rochester, New York, which is maybe like 4 or 5 hours north of here. And the citizens of Rochester were fighting back and kind of kicked out the officers from where they were. And it brought me to like tears, because it was like, oh wow, there is still humanity, but it's also like it shouldn't have to be that way. Like this shouldn't be a thing. And just seeing that video gave me such huge feelings. And I really feel like it's because I'm so much of an empathetic person, and having empathy is not a bad thing. I used to think it was terrible. Like when I was growing up, I was like, I'm such an empath, but I feel too much. And not to say I don't want to feel at all, because that's just going in the opposite direction. That's not a good direction either. But I really had to learn how to manage the overwhelm of feelings. Like I can be talking to someone and it's like, let's say they're sad. I can truly like feel their sadness. And then when I leave that space, I kind of take that sadness with me. I bring it home. Now I'm sad. I want to cry. My heart hurts. And I'm like, what is this? Like, why do I feel like this? And then I look back and I'm like, I picked it up from someone else. And I always used to feel like that was such a terrible gift to have. But going through these times, I feel like my perspective has changed on that. And it's something, my therapist would be so proud of me. It's something that I really am trying to change my perspective and just really see it as more of a gift. It is a blessing that I can connect to other humans in such a deep level. And I feel like really what has navigated me through that was always going to therapy. I I love, love, love to journal. I love getting my thoughts out. And even when I journal, it's sometimes I'm just writing. It doesn't have to be planned out. It's just me putting my thoughts onto paper. And at the end of a journaling session, I feel so much lighter. And I feel like I'm able to move through that feeling. Meditation is key. It is honestly one of the best ways I've been able to silence my mind. And I know meditating is very hard. I've spoken to so many people that are like, I can't silence the mind. And they'll try it maybe once or twice and then they just kind of give up on it. But the key to meditating is really, when you are starting it, don't judge yourself for what comes through. Like, even if you're having thoughts on like, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? I forgot to send out that email. That's okay. Because you can recognize it and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking about, but now let's refocus and kind of go back into that meditative state. It does take practice. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like a super meditator. I think the most I've done is like 10 minutes. I know people who can do like 30 minutes, an hour, and that's amazing. But even a 5-minute meditation would really just silence your mind and get you back into your flow, your energy. And I think another great way of kind of changing your perspective on the world and what you're feeling is reading, always getting more knowledge on spiritual practices, on how you can, better yourself. I am currently reading Gabby Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back, and it is about transforming fear into faith. And let me tell you guys, I fucking love this book. It has changed my mind like significantly. I love Gabby Bernstein. I've done several of her challenges, and I always feel almost kind of like a superwoman once I finish one of her challenges. And I know that once I finish this book, it's just gonna be like a deal. Like it's gonna change everything for me. And it's really about changing our perspective, because we are living in a very chaotic time. It's very fear-inducing, and I think that's kind of the point of it, to kind of instill just this fear. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be worried or we shouldn't be cautious, because like I said in the beginning, I feel very targeted as a person at the moment, and that does cause a lot of worry within me. But the point of it is not to let the fear consume you and to take over your everyday life, because when you live in that fear, you kind of, like, your energy is so low, you're not benefiting those around you, and you're not even, like, you can't even benefit yourself. There's no possible way. And healing is all about raising your vibration, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to better ourselves. We're here to learn from each other. We're here to grow with each other. And I really hope that this episode, even though I went on a complete rant, I really hope this episode can help someone just begin their shift into changing their perspective. And I just thank you guys for listening. I've said it before, this podcast has been a dream of mine, and honestly, knowing that people are listening to me and Shell and hopefully starting their healing journey just means the world to me. I never thought I'd be able to do this. So I thank you. And I thank you for listening to me rant today. And hopefully, Shell will join us soon. And as always, please follow us on Instagram at Healing in Gemini. I love you guys. I'm sending you so much love, so much positivity. And as scary as this world seems at the moment, we will get through it together. Love you guys.